Hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. In today's video, we want to show you kind of start to finish, obviously editing out the gory stuff for YouTube's sake, of how we process our chickens and how we're doing it from a business perspective. We are processing 80 some birds for resale. I want to tie in all those steps and explain as we go the method to our madness and how we're actually trying to sell this many birds parted out to people in our neighborhood. So come along and we'll see if we can do this. So you may be wondering, okay, how are you able to process birds on your farm and be eligible, fit all the laws, the food laws, all of that type of stuff? Well, West Virginia, like a majority of the states in the country, have an exemption. There's the 1,000 bird exemption and there's a 20,000 bird exemption. And we fall under the 1,000 bird exemption because we're not doing more than 1,000 birds a year. So with that, we're allowed to process on farm as long as we meet the safety guidelines and the quality guidelines that are specified by our Department of Agriculture. And there we're good. All right, turn the wheel a little to the left. Just a little bit. All right, come back. Come on. Straight back. That's good right there. All right, buddy. Downhill, there you go. Keep turning, downhill. Downhill, there you go. A little bit more. Hard to keep that wheel turned down here. Downhill. A little bit more. Oh, right there, hold that. All right, hard to the right. Pull forward. Right there. Hold. All right, you're going to drive into the meadow and we're going to back up so we can come back. So I want you to swing it wide and we try to get this trailer as lined up as possible, okay? Coming. This is the very edge, so don't drive off the edge. Come on. That way, son. Go drive. You're sinking. Okay, there you go. All right. So our chickens have spent the last 5 weeks here on pasture in our 3 tractors. That's where we have about 80 birds, I think 82. And we've been able to do the loop in the meadow here. So we started where you guys are standing, came up, turned around to the skinny part, and came back. And this is where we're going to finish. Because tomorrow, as we process, we want to have clean eviscerate of the chickens. We don't want to have them full of food. So what we're going to do, the boys are going to load them into our large trailer that has sides. And these birds are so big, they're not going to jump out. So the fact that we only have 2-foot sides is going to be fine. So we're going to get those birds out. We're going to put them in the trailer. And that's going to get them off of grass and keep them from being able to forage anything. So they'll be able to flush out their system tonight as they're sleeping, kind of just chilling out up by the house where we'll be able to protect them. So the boys project is going to be working on that, and I'm going to get the trailer set up more. So within those 5 weeks, these birds have access to grass and various forage, bugs, spiders, all the good stuff that chickens like. But they've also been given a non-GMO protein feed to help them gain the appropriate weight we need in this time. These are corn cross. These are not genetically modified. They are just bred to grow pretty weighty in that short period of time. You see, put my hand down here, you see the size of these chickens. For an 8-week-old bird, that's pretty impressive. If these were just standard egg layers, then an 8-week-old bird would look like that. It would just be much, much smaller. So really happy with how these guys perform on pasture. I want to take a quick break from this video to give a shout out to our channel sponsor, and that's Red Tool House website. So we now have 5 different varieties of hats available in our store, in stock and ready to ship nationwide. We have a style with our social media, our YouTube logo, our Red Tool House logo, and this is the one I wear on the farm most of the time. Don't worry, yours won't come with the brown sweat ring. And then we have our actual farm logoed hats as well in inventory. So if you'd like some Red Tool House swag, check it out. It's all in inventory and ships out here, so no middleman to deal with anymore like those old systems. We plan on adding some more products as we go along. Liam's actually working on some shirt designs right now. All right, let's get back to our video. Well, if you haven't watched the channel before, you may be wondering, well, what's this trailer you speak of, Troy? Well, this is something that really helps with small farm production when it comes to poultry. This is a West Virginia Farmers Market Association piece of equipment. They have 2. And what they do is they rent it to farmers, like me, small producers. So since we're doing less than 100 birds, it would be tough to justify going out and buying all this equipment. I mean, it'd take years to see the return on investment on that. Now, as we hopefully grow, then of course we'll add that. But I've been renting this trailer for years, and it works out great because right now I think I had to write a check for $102, but that included a $50 damage deposit. So I get that back if I return the trailer sans feathers. So as long as it's clean and not covered in feathers, then I get my damage deposit back. But it has a killing station, has a scalder with rotisserie in it, it has a plucker, and then of course our eviscerating table, just a work table, and then a chill tank. So we've got a nice workstation here that we can utilize, and propane that we'll hook up for the scalder, and then all we need is electric to run the rotisserie in the scalder and to run the plucker. And of course I'll hook up my garden hose from our well, so we'll be utilizing that water. So what we're doing tonight, in anticipation of a bright and early morning start, because wouldn't you know it, tomorrow is supposed to be the hottest day of the summer yet. It's supposed to be a heat index of over 100, and we're going to be here on all this concrete doing it. This reminds me of my plan many years ago to build a processing facility down by the barn in all the shade. But we haven't gotten to that part yet. So we'll put these leveling legs down so of course it doesn't rock back and forth on us when we're working on it. And the boys, while I'm doing this, the boys are going to take some white vinegar and they're going to wipe down all the stainless steel. That's the beauty of stainless steel, of course, it stays pretty clean, but especially the eviscerating table and the chill tank, we want to have a nice clean start there. We had some road time, and I just feel better about having a clean workstation there. So you may be saying, hey, I don't have access to such a nice trailer or that opportunity. There's no organization that has that around me, so am I just out of luck in having a small poultry business? Well, no, not necessarily. You can look and see if maybe you've got some neighbors, local farms in the area that are in the same boat as you are, and maybe you all can go in together and form a little co-op to be able to purchase some of this equipment. You know, really, the scalder and the plucker are the 2 big things, the most expensive things. Everything else you can make do with, improvising. But the scalder and the plucker really come in handy. Maybe you start off with a plucker, because the scalder, with the scalder you can obviously fabricate something. But also check out Facebook or Craigslist to see if anybody may be renting that equipment. Maybe somebody's already made that purchase and they're offering an opportunity for you to rent the scalder or the plucker. All right, for the scalder, obviously we're just using regular water, but I like to put some dishwashing soap in it, especially a good grease cutter, like Dawn Ultra. Not sponsored. But what that does, that helps the oils in the chicken, the bird itself, it helps break down those oils faster, so that you get, in that scald, you get a cleaner release of feathers, and it just kind of has, it's like that first, used to be like, it was like the first step in a car wash, isn't it? So you're going for that first scrub there. So that helps just kind of get the bird clean, and when it goes to the plucker to get rinsed off, then you got some things working to your advantage there. I think we'll go up to about right here, get the water up to that level. Yeah, to that top of that basket bar. Yeah. All right, so we got our setup ready to go. I got the scalder going this morning. You guys saw me light that, and everything's in place. Mom and Dad are helping today, which is awesome. And we use the garage for our post-production. So once we get chickens in the chill tank, then we move them over to a cooler that has a vinegar water solution and ice. So we want to get the body temperature of those birds down as quickly as possible. And then Kelly will start parting them out. And then we have our chamber vac that will vacuum seal them, put our official labels on them, everything to match Department of Ag requirements, and then go straight into our freezers. Got 2 freezers back there that we emptied, defrosted, cleaned out, and are ready to go with this year's round of chickens. So now it's time to start dispatching. And like I said, for the sake of YouTube's squeamishness, we'll leave that part out, but you know what happens there. So let's commence. All right, so we got our last chicken processed, cut up, inspected, and in the cooler right as a really big storm came through. So we dodged a bullet there. So we're done for the evening. My folks have already headed home. We've got everything processed, so there's no chickens left. Got a huge pile of feathers. The eviscerate, the pigs are enjoying. So 2 for 1 in that special. And we've just got 2 of the coolers packed with ice, and those are the ones that we are breaking down, or left to have broken down, and vacuum sealing those. And I think what I'll do tomorrow, when I have a little bit more energy, I'll explain to you guys specifically how we're packaging these up, how we're labeling them, and of course how we're going to sell those online on our store, and detail that. So we've got them in the freezer. Let's see here. I believe this is the freezer that the boys are putting them in. Sure enough. So that freezer has cuts. This freezer's almost completely empty. I think it has 2 whole birds in it. And then this freezer over here has the rest of our whole birds. We only did 25 whole birds on this order. I had a customer that wanted to order 25, and we're breaking his order up into two halves because we're doing another run in September. So we're going to do 15 this time and then 14 in September. So that gives him what he wants, and it allows us to have more cuts to be able to sell. All right, well, let's pick this up tomorrow. Ripe strawberry. Okay. Well, that was rude. Anyway, so second day, we moved inside the kitchen because of the heat and did our processing, cutting up all our birds. As I mentioned earlier, we only did 25 birds whole, and the rest should have been about 60, 65 birds we brought in and cut up into individual cuts. The key to doing all that, of course, is ice, ice, ice. We went through tons of ice. I think we went through about $60 worth of ice, bagged ice, to be able to keep all those cuts cold in our coolers, cold when we're processing them, cold after Kelly's made the cuts, until they go straight into the vacuum sealer, get labeled, and then go straight into our freezer to be frozen. We had the Department of Ag come down, do an inspection as we kind of refreshed our setup and our processing. Looked at all of our things, our layouts of our freezers and everything, gave us a green light, renewed our license. The chamber vacuum sealer really is a game changer for us. It takes it to a business level. The type of sealers you get, like at Cabela's and those places, they just don't get it done. Definitely want a chamber vac. It's totally different technology as well. Even the labels we produced those through my marketing company. So it has our brand on it, of course, has all the material handling, all the things that the Department of Ag requires, and of course the opportunity for us to fill out the details about the weights and the individual cuts. I was going to move to another spot, but this still has ripe strawberries, so I'm going to continue to graze while I talk. Nothing like a fresh strawberry. So what cuts did we decide to go with? Well, obviously, with a chicken, you only have so many cuts. So we had breasts, we had thighs, we had drums, we had tenders, and we had wings. But with the drums and the thighs, we did some variations. So we did thighs standalone and drums standalone. But with the thighs, we made them boneless. So we actually removed that bone. So we've got boneless thighs. And then we also have leg quarters. So that's the thigh and the drum combined, skin on with bone. So we'll see how those sell and kind of see how that works out. We also even cleaned up the feet and put those in vacuum seals. We did those 10 feet per bag because those are great for broth making, and obviously people like them for pet treats. So we've decided this year to do all of our sales acquisition through our website involving a home delivery system. So what we're doing is with our store, online store, people can place their order, pay then, and if they place the order between Monday and Wednesday, then they get it at home delivery on Saturday. We have a very defined delivery area right now, and that will expand as demand is needed. So the thing that we're ready to do at the point of me recording this segment of this video is take all that information, everything we documented. So as Cam was putting those packets together, he wrote down breasts 2.3, breasts 2.1, breasts 2.8. We actually got a 3-pound bag of breasts. That was 2 chicken breasts. It was amazing. And we also had one bird that dressed out over 10 pounds. Go figure. So what we'll do is we'll take that inventory list now, assign them in our categories, and then update our website tonight and notify our customers via email blast, because people have signed up for that. The website is now updated with all the inventory we have for this chicken processing. And we won't have another processing again until September. So this will be the inventory to get us through September, and people can now place those orders. So how did we market the launching of this new service? Well, we have an existing customer base for the past several years, so we let them know. But obviously it isolated a lot of people since our delivery area is very finite. We did direct mail. So we designed a direct mail, which it's called an EDDM. And I think I'm going to do a separate video on that for you all. It kind of gets way far away from homesteading, but I think it's very important to know that there's a service you can take advantage of there. So we did a direct mail, sent that out. I did a Facebook ad that I boosted and targeted in a very specific area. And then, of course, contacted people via our email and through our existing Facebook page. So the whole call to action to that was, obviously you could go to the store and place your order, But we'd also like you to sign up, because email is the quickest, cheapest way to communicate with people and have full control over that. We've talked in the past about how social media don't necessarily have full control over that, but with email we do. And so we'll communicate each week to people to say, hey, the site's updated with new inventory, whatever we have, and if you order between now and Wednesday, then you can get it in home on Saturday. If you order after Wednesday, then it'll just be next Saturday's delivery. So if y'all are customers and you buy from us, then this gives you an idea of how the chicken was processed, the care that we put into packaging it, and then of course how you can buy it from us. If you're a fellow homesteader or small farmer trying to start a small business, then I hope this has given you some insight into some of those opportunities there. And if you're looking at the business side of this, I'm going to delve much deeper into this and actually show full-blown case study of cost of marketing, sales, profit margin, labor involved, deliveries, all those type of things. And we're going to kind of let this play out real time. And that's all going to happen on our Patreon page. So if you're a supporter of the Pastured Pig Patreon group, then at any level you'll be able to have access to at least the audio of us discussing this. If you're at the top tier, then you'll be able to access all the visuals, the spreadsheets, the documents, all those type of things. So if you're interested in that from a business model standpoint, check that out. I'll put a link below, but that's thepasturedpig.com. That's our podcast and stuff that's related to that. But this farm store is very pertinent to small business operation there. Well, it's kind of a long video. I appreciate everybody watching and sticking it out with us. Pray y'all have a great week. Take care.